This is Immigrant Podcast with Robinson.
Welcome everybody to the Immigrant Podcast. And this is the last podcast of season 1. We're going to retake it next year, 2022, in February. So thank you very much to all of you who have followed us. And to close it for this year, we have our first anonymous person, and I'm going to call him Mr. A. Mr. A, welcome to the show.
Hi, Robinson.
Thank you for being here with us. You have a very interesting story. You come from Siberia, Russia. You came to Montreal. You spent some time here in Montreal, but at the end of the day, you moved out west. Tell us and share with us that story and why the move from Montreal to Vancouver and what the main differences have been comparing live in Montreal to live in West.
As Robinson said, yes, I came from Russia, was in Siberia, and our first place when we moved to Canada was Montreal. We've been there for like 1 year. I attended college and I participated in the fiscal program. This is an IT course. And after 1 year, I graduated this college, successfully graduated. Then we decided to move to the western part of Canada because the very first reason is because of the climate. Everybody knows that eastern part, and I would say the vast majority of places in Canada are pretty cold. We just wanted to change this thing to us, to our family. So we made a decision to try our life and put all our efforts to the Western Canada to see how it's going. We chose the really popular city in Canada. It's Vancouver, so it's huge, really good equipped city. We took our car and we moved maybe within 6 days through the U.S. And we settled in 2019 in the city. So yeah, it was an interesting experience and different lifestyle in comparison with Quebec, with Montreal itself. So it's really different. So now we're living here 2.5 years. So I'm working for a big international IT company here. So it's really different. So it's not just the climate. So a lot of differences, yes, as you know, in language, in lifestyle, different expenses, of course. If we can compare Quebec and British Columbia, so the very first thing that comes to my mind is the price of the cost of living in terms of realty market. So rent and real estate is way pricey than in Quebec.
So how about food? Is food more expensive in the West than it is here in Montreal?
No, I would say it costs less than in Quebec. So it depends. Actually, in Quebec, the general goods like milk, eggs, maybe meat, higher quality, I would say, but a little bit more pricey than in British Columbia.
In Quebec. Okay, I understand.
Yeah. Let's say insurance or maybe gas prices are higher than in Quebec, so definitely.
And electricity, I imagine, is also higher?
It's hard to compare because, you know, the rate of temperature outside are different between these provinces, different climate. Seems to me that a little bit cheaper here because the electricity itself, the production of electricity, same way it's hydro. It's still green like in Quebec. Hydro-Quebec, they're doing their electricity from the rivers, and here it's the same, but it seems to me that a little bit cheaper here.
Wow, interesting. I hadn't heard it that way, but now that you say it, you've had the experience of living in both provinces. That's interesting to hear. And when it comes to work And job opportunities, are there about the same number of opportunities at both places, or there are
No,
more there?
I wouldn't say that. I think that Montreal's job market is a little bit better than Vancouver's market. It depends on your occupation, how professional you are. I think that in Montreal you can get your first job faster than in Vancouver, definitely. But on the other hand, in Montreal you get to know two languages. You have to be bilingual.
But isn't that also a hassle, a problem, an issue for people who are not able to speak French when they
Yeah,
arrive here?
yeah. Even if you're looking for the job in IT market, so anyway, you have to use two languages. But in Vancouver, the only one language needed, English.
And again, I kind of repeat my question because was French a barrier for you and your family? And maybe that's also one of the reasons that propelled you to move to a different province?
I wouldn't say that it was a barrier. So because we attended French courses provided by Quebec government. So and our French it wasn't really good, but it was functional, and we could use that on a daily basis. But I don't know. So we just made this decision to move to British Columbia. So as I said, first of all because of the climate.
Can you still speak French or you've forgotten it?
Si, un petit peu.
Un petit peu. Ah, c'est bon, c'est bon. T'as pas tout oublié. C'est bon.
Yes, but if you do not use, you lose, right?
That is
So
correct. Yes.
yeah.
And how about your kids?
Oh, my kids, yes. We have two kids, and our youngest, she's doing really good. Now she's like she's swinging and behaves like local. Older, yes, he's still having a few issues with pronunciation sometimes, but no, he's doing good as well. Yeah.
Do they still remember French or they have totally forgotten it?
No, as I can see, they're losing their French as well, so they're not using it at all. So no, there is no place to use it in
Too,
Vancouver.
too bad, too bad. The more
Yes,
languages you speak, the better.
exactly.
So for someone that's coming, let's say like you, that's coming as a skilled worker from another
Hmm.
country, doesn't have to be Russia, they're thinking where to go. And yes, we know, we understand that when we apply, we normally aim at a specific province. But let's say you already get to that province, but you don't really like what you see or you don't find the opportunities that you thought you were going to find. What are your recommendations before you move from one to the other?
My recommendation will be to try to start your way and the immigrant's way, and probably in cheaper province, not like Ontario, maybe British Columbia. These two are pretty expensive provinces, and I would really recommend you to start your way in Quebec or maybe New Brunswick or something, maybe Manitoba. Maybe you will stay there for more than 1 year, and maybe you will like that. My recommendation is not to try start in Toronto, or maybe these cities are really expensive, especially in the beginning when you're just looking for the new life, and you're doing your first steps. It is way better to start maybe in a small city, maybe like Sherbrooke, maybe something like that. Maybe Gatineau, if we're talking about Quebec. So yeah, this is my recommendation. This is my point of view.
Didn't you, if I'm not mistaken, Mr. A, actually went to Vancouver before you moved there
Yes, I've been to Vancouver a couple of times before.
while you were still in Montreal?
Before Montreal, when I've been to Montreal, yes, yeah, we were familiar with this province and with the city before. We knew what we do at that moment.
So I believe that's probably also a very good recommendation. Like if you know you want to move, maybe visit a couple of different provinces, a couple of different cities, and
Yeah,
kind of
yeah,
take a look at it, try to feel the environment is, and if you're going to like the area, right?
exactly. Yeah, so do the exploratory visit, maybe try a couple, maybe 3, 4 provinces as much as you can. Let's say Saskatchewan, probably it's too cold or too plain. Maybe Vancouver can look for you too rainy. Depends. It depends on your expectations. So it's better to visit first before making the decision where you want to land, where you want to start. Another thing is language skills and professional skills. If you're dealing with oil and gas field, yeah, it's definitely better to take a look on Alberta, or if you're doing mining, Alberta and British Columbia as well. It depends.
Yes, it does. Moving to a different province and visiting those provinces before we move there, I would say we have to do it during the winter time. In the summer, we have no questions. Like Canada is beautiful in the summer.
Yeah,
But
yeah,
I
yeah.
think if we really want to compare one province against the other, we should visit those provinces in the winter to really kind of feel the weather, the temperature. Because we know in Edmonton and Saskatchewan and other provinces, it starts snowing maybe in August, right? So,
Exactly.
if the temperature is 0 in Montreal, maybe over there it's going to be already -20. So I think this is the right time for us to test exactly how it's going to feel like to be there in the winter. And
Yes,
again, I
exactly.
say it, in the summer, Canada is so beautiful. There's no reason for any Canadian to leave the country during the summer because there's so much for us to visit too and get to know. But in the winter, that's different.
Yeah, this is what I'm saying. And by the way, in Montreal, you guys have a lot of verglas,
Yeah,
ice rain, right?
yes, it's very dangerous.
It's
People
really
tend to break legs and ankles during that period of time. And it happens a few times during the winter season.
But I would say this winter is a bit snowy because we have some snow on the ground these days, but not the entire Greater Vancouver area is like this. The vast majority of the city is just full of rain today.
Mr. A, спасибо большое. Пожалуйста, скажи пару слов по-русски.
Всем предлагаю попробовать этот путь в Канаде. Может быть, кому-то это действительно будет интересно начать новую жизнь в новой стране, где-то в новом городе, в новой провинции. Надо пробовать, пытаться, смотреть, искать себя, делать определенные усилия для этого, и у вас все получится.
Это все?
Да, пожалуй.
Спасибо. Mr. A, thank you very much for being on the show with us. I wish you all the best. Happy holidays, Merry Christmas, and a Happy New Year to you and your family.
Thank you, Robinson. Thank you. Thanks to everybody.
Thank you.
Happy holidays.
Everyone, please follow the Immigrant Project on Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, and support us the best that you can. Happy holidays. Thank you. Until next year.
This was Immigrant Podcast with Robinson.